I'm just put y'all up on game because really it's been a lot going on. So yeah, this is a story about my car. Ride it, flown it, oh I know you want it. While I turn around you, watch me check up on it. You watching me shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Come over and check up on it. So hey guys, welcome back to another video. This your girl and I'm back with another one. Today I want to give y'all a little story time about my car troubles and what's been holding me down as of 2020. The end of 2023 really it started, but I'm just not getting it fixed and settled in 2024. I mean, it's still the beginning. It was holding me down. It had me on a curfew and I was like, oh no, this can't go on for too much longer. But at the same time, I didn't know what to do. Anyways, let me get into the story and I'm gonna tell y'all what's happening, what's going on. All right, so anybody who knows me know I'm from Florida, Dade County, all that baby. But I moved up to Georgia from Florida about 2 years ago. And I didn't want to transfer my tags and titles yet because, I mean, I heard that Georgia was a whole lot to go through to transfer your car. So I was just trying to put it off for so long. And it backfired on me. It did. My insurance company, I had Progressive. But my insurance company, they would email me. They were like, oh, we need to know where your car's garage, whatever. And so I had not been living at the place where my car was garage, right? So I called my friend. I'm like, girl, can I use your address for a little bit, like until I get settled and stuff? So her mom's like, yeah, I mean, we trust you, whatever. So yeah, go ahead. So I put my stuff in her address, right? Next thing you know, the insurance company, they calling me. They like, we need you to send in proof of address, whatever. So I send in the proof, you know, I sent in a few letters of mail. And all of a sudden, that's when horror started. So I was talking to them and I was like, oh, I just moved. Like, this is the letters that I have from the address, whatever. And they're like, oh no, that's not gonna work. We need an actual pay stub, a light bill or a phone bill, things of that sort. And so I hit up my friend's mom. I'm like, oh, can you get me these documents, whatever, so I can send it in to them so I can confirm my address, where I stay, the place of my garage, you know? And so she sends me a few documents and I send it in to them. And then they're like, oh no, we can't take this because it had her name on it. So I tell them again, I just moved here. I'm staying with a family friend and yeah, I need this address to be on my paperwork. Okay, so they're like, I called an 800 number and I'm talking to them. They're like, okay, well, send in something stating that they bought the house, they own the house, whatever. I don't know, they wanted that. So I sent that in and yeah, so I thought everything was good. I was like, okay, I'm good now. We in the green. Green means go. So yeah, I went on with my life. I come home, long day at work, come home. I'm ready to like chill, whatever. My friend called me. She's like, hey Maya. And I'm just like, hey girl, what's up? Like, I didn't think anything of it. Next thing you know, she goes into, oh, so I have bad news. The insurance people found out that you're using our address and they flagged our account as fraud. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was off the next day, whatever. So I had my mama. I was like, Ma, we need to go get my Georgia stuff. They're saying that we're doing fraud on them, basically. So that's when everything just started moving. I gotta change all my stuff. Cut for time. I got my Georgia's license and then the next thing was the car. So in Georgia you have to get an emissions test. So I went in to get the emissions test and everything was good. The girl, she helped me out because she's like, oh, there's a little air going through your gas cap, whatever, but I'm gonna help you out, but just know for next time that you have to get one, okay? So I was like, okay girl, thank you, I don't need no more troubles right now. So I did that. Next thing you know, I'm going up to the tax office. Here's my paperwork, here's all of this stuff, so y'all can leave me alone. It was like, oh, the title on your car is marked as a rebuild, and it's considered also a salvage car. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. But then they was like, oh, you have to go get an inspection from a different company. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to get this other inspection, and I'm looking up the things that they're gonna be checking, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, so I might be good. It's just only checking like the body of the car. They ain't going too deep, you know. So yeah, I go in, I turn my car in for an inspection, and next thing you know, they call me tomorrow. I mean the next day, and they're like, oh, your car is ready to be picked up, right? I had no way to get that, y'all. So I had to call me an Uber to get there. So I get there, and then the lady, she's like, oh, did he tell you anything like what's wrong with your car or whatever? And I'm just like, no. She goes, well, there's some body work that needs to be done, and your rear passenger lights are out. Here we go. On the journey to fix the car, right? I go to dealership after dealership after dealership. Well, not dealership, but like little car places after car places after car places that fix cars. So all of them said, oh, sorry, we can't help you with that. We don't work on cars that already been worked on. I was like, the last place that I visited, they were like, oh, we got a recommendation. We could probably send you over to them because he used to work here, and you know, he was good and he do this kind of stuff. So I was like, great. So I hit the man up, and he was like, oh, you can meet me at my house tomorrow, so I could check it out, whatever, because the shop was like an hour away. So he's like, oh, I stay a little bit outside of you. You could just meet me at my house so I could check it out, whatever. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So the next day come, and I'm like, well, because I ain't going by myself with this man that I don't know. So we went to get something to eat while we wait, whatever. So we eating, food good, food done. So I'm waiting. I'm like, all right, we supposed to be meeting up in like 5 minutes. You ain't send me no address, no nothing yet. I'm like losing faith. Like, did this man just stand me up? I said, all right, forget this. I'm going home. I'm headed home. As soon as I get in my gate, this man's like, oh, sorry, I had an emergency with my son. I had to go help him. So I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't respond because, you know, what else is there to say right now? So a few days go by, and then I hit him up again, and I'm just like, I need you to look at this car because I'm getting letters in the mail saying they're going to suspend my license and all this stuff if this is not fixed. So I finally went up to the shop because I was like, oh, he has no excuse now. Like, you're at work, I'm here, you can check it. And good thing I did go in because he had to put it up on the little lift thing that they got. So yeah, anyways, so he checks the car, he pulled the tire out, and then he's looking at the frame, and he's like, dang, this is not good. All of a sudden, my heart, yeah, he's like, oh, this is not good, come look at it, whatever. And I'm looking, I'm like, well, what am I looking at? I don't know what I'm looking at. And he's like, oh, you see this, like it has little damage right here, little damage right here. The car was in an accident before, and whoever tried to repair it, they repaired it good, but not the right way, basically. He said they took the cheap way out, and yeah, so that was the next problem. So he's like, well, I'm gonna just break it to you because I don't know any other way to say this, but yeah, I just recommend that you sell this car and get a new one because the prices to fix this car will be a lot worse than just getting a new car. So I'm just like, okay, I'm for that, I guess. Do I have a choice? No. Then I called my dad, and I'm just like telling him my situation, like, oh my gosh, my license gonna be suspended, all this stuff, like I don't know what to do. And then he's like, you know, sell the car in Florida and I'm gonna help you get the new car, okay? So I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, I still got the car. I ain't got no way to get to Florida. I gotta go to work. Like, I need transportation. What are you talking about? So I'm up here ducking and dodging the cops, child. One day after work, it was me, then it was like 3 other cars, and then it was the police, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm all the way in the front, so he ain't finna get me. He ain't finna read my tag or nothing. Child, I go to turn, and the rest of the cars is going straight. I go in the turn lane, I'm turning. Why he pull up behind me? I said, oh my gosh. So as soon as I seen him pull up behind me, I pulled up into the school parking lot. I said, I'm here to pick up my kid that I don't have. He just continued to go straight. So I was like, I don't want to go this way because he might be in a little hideout, you know, waiting for anything, for me to come pass by. Or, I mean, he, you know, this is just stuff in my mind because honestly, the man was probably not even worried about me for real. But yeah, when you want things, it just kind of triggers your mind. I pull up the school and I go the opposite way and I go through the shopping center. Child, when I get through the shopping center, it's like 8 cops sitting right there. 7 to 8 cops. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, okay, act normal, act normal. I drive. And then I was like, cool, I passed him. I finally look up straight ahead, a cop right in front of me. I said, oh, I gotta turn. So I turned. And then I get to the other stop sign, and then there's a cop like right here. I was like, yo, let me get home because it's just too much going on in these streets for me. And I looked up, I was like, what if you get caught, da 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 da. And it said, you will get a misdemeanor. I said, oh, I really gotta be careful because Florida talking about seize tags. And yeah, if I get caught up, I don't need any problems with these people. Sorry about that, the camera died, but I'm back. So next thing you know, next day come by, I'm like, cool, hopefully I don't run into no police today. This is gonna be a good day. And I didn't. So I get home and my mom's like off of work, whatever. So I'm like, girl, well, she's like, let's go get something to eat. And I was like, girl, how about we go to a dealership so I could look at these cars? The one that I actually wanted. We got into the car and it was like 22,000 miles on it and it was only like 19K. I was like, oh, this is the winner right here. So I was like telling the man, I was like, oh, I like this car, whatever. And he's like, okay, cool, you know, hit me up when you're ready and we can get the process done. Then I slide to the next dealership because, you know, you can't keep your options too close. Like, you gotta see what's out there. And first, this is my first time buying a car, even going to a dealership looking at cars for me. So yeah, so we go to the next dealership and it was Honda. We go looking at their used cars and their stuff was like so expensive for what? I look at the car, it's like 50,000 miles, but they wanted like 26K. I'm like, oh, no. But yeah, like all their cars was like 50 and up and they wanted like all this money for them. And I'm just like, do y'all know like these miles add up, like they already high. So yeah, I was like, this is not gonna work. So we leave there and the next dealership we're going to is Kia. So we go to Kia and I'm looking at the cars. I'm like, damn, I'm not really seeing nothing that I like, but you know, I'm looking. So sorry, I look at this one car and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cute, but it's not, sorry, it's not giving what it's supposed to give. So I look across the parking lot and I see this car so freaking nice, child. So I go to the car and I'm like, oh, but what about this one? I get in and I'm looking at the interior, like it had the sunroof, the heated and cooling seats, like it had everything fully loaded. And I was like, oh, this the one, this the one. And so the man goes, okay, well, let me go check on a few things. Let me run your credit. And well, I had test drove it first. And then after that, I was like, okay, it drives smooth. And then it actually lets you know, like, when you're coming up to a school zone, when there's stoplight cameras ahead, and it lets you know everything. It's like a Waze installed into it. So that's cool. So he goes, let me go check your information or whatever and see like what I can do for you. So he goes in and then he comes back out, and then I'm like, oh, what's the verdict? So he goes, so loan services don't actually like for people to use pre-owned cars, so you won't be able to get this car, unfortunately. But I do have a brand new one that just got off the truck, and the only thing is it don't have that sunroof that you wanted, and it didn't have the cooling and heated seats. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want the car anymore. But I still look at it, I'm just like, okay, let's see what it's giving. And then he was like, let me let you ponder on it, whatever. So my mom goes, oh, since she can't get it, then how about you try me for it? Because she was just gonna trade her car in because she have a Nissan, and y'all heard about them Nissan's transmissions, child, they be going out. So the man was like, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and get a new car, because if that transmission go out, then you gotta pay $10,000. Child, that's like half a brand new car. So no. So she ended up trying to see if she can get the car. He come back, same news. Sorry, the car's pre-owned. We can't give this to you. So he goes and get her the same car as the car that I like, with the sunroof, the heated and chilling seats, like fully loaded. He go get that to her, get that for her. The only thing was the windows wasn't tinted, so she would have to do that and of course fix it or whatever. He gave that to her, and I was just so mad. But it's like based on the price that you want to pay for, and you know, your credit score and all this stuff, because my credit score was like hitting the 700s, he said. But the thing is, there was no like real credit on there, like showing where I purchased something big. So he was like, yeah, so this is the car based on your credit and everything, you know. I do know somebody that can install that sunroof if you wanted it still, whatever. But then I was looking online last night, I was like, I don't know, because people, they had like their mixed reviews, and they were like, oh, it's all nice until you get water damage and all this stuff. So that's something that I have to think about. But anyways, we go through with the process, and he's like, oh, you're gonna have to put down $350, but your mama, on the other hand, she gonna have to put down $1,500. And I was like, well, I ain't get paid yet, so sir, can you postpone this? He's like, I mean, until when? Because when the deal is made, that's when usually you have to put down or whatever. And so my mama working her magic on the side, and yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm like, if it is what it is, then it is what it is. And really, I just came from a car with no payments to a car with payments. Oh, yo, that's gonna kill me. But you know, God wouldn't give you nothing that you can't handle, right? So I was like, maybe I should have a little more faith, you know. But at the same time, I was thinking like my situation, like rents, like all my bills combined. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna kill me. But I should be good. Anyways, so long story short, that story was kind of long, I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, we purchased 2 cars yesterday. My mom got the more upgraded one with the sunroof and all that stuff, and I got the one without the sunroof basically, and the heated seats, which I'm so mad about. But when you look at the price difference, how much she paying versus how much I'm paying, I mean, yeah. So, you know, I was just like, we'll take this, and when I go to get my next car, that one's gonna be fully loaded. I want everything, nothing's getting left behind, you know. But I still want my sunroof. But I just said, I'm gonna leave it alone, and if it's meant to be, then it will happen, you know. So yes, that's my car story from hell. Yeah, it's pretty long. I know. And I'm just happy that it's finally over. So with that being said, I'm gonna go get my new car. I didn't get it yesterday because the store was closed and all this stuff, and they have to like actually prep the car to be taken off the lot, like the whole battery, and they have to clean up the car, take the plastic off and all the paper and stuff. Yeah, brand new, baby. It had like 12 miles on it because he had to drive it. I mean, 12 miles, I feel like the dealership ain't that big to be going 12 miles around the corner. But yeah, it had 12 miles on it, which is still nothing, but I would have liked to put that first one on there. Anyways, so yeah, that's my story, and we finna go get this car right now. Like, yeah, we better go pick it up. So I'll see y'all later.